Hi guys, Skittle here and welcome back to another video. Now, first of all, I apologise, there's traffic out there. If you hear that, I apologise. I also apologise for any sound you may hear television wise because the TV's on the other room. Again, apologising, keeping the theme going. New background. In today's video, we're going to be talking about my trip to Manchester. Well, this is my second trip to Manchester and I thought I'd vlog the experience this time. Didn't go as well as I hoped, especially on the first day, which I will get to, but I vlogged the whole experience but I didn't have time to sit down and kind of explain what was going on. So I'll be kind of explaining what happened each day with some kind of footage of what happened that day. Because I did video some of it but I didn't sit down and chat about it, so let's get on with that. So day one, of course, was the travelling day. So I woke up, everything was packed from the day before, headed down to my friend's house. On the way to my friend's house, my suitcase broke, so that was a great start to the trip already. And then we got a taxi from hers to the bus station where we got the bus to Edinburgh. The bus we'd usually get would be a big stagecoach which has kind of like a little bit for your suitcase and stuff, which was great because of course we're going to Manchester for a week. We're going to need, like, our suitcases are going to be big and we're going to need somewhere to put them. But unfortunately sometimes the buses will break down and they'll have to give in small buses. So we got a regular sized bus which has no space for suitcases, and the Edinburgh bus is usually packed with people. So we had to get on a small bus with our suitcases with a lot of people. Another not great start to the trip. And then on our train to Manchester, it was supposed to be a one-way train. We get on the train at Manchester and we get there. That was it. No! Our train broke down, or actually no. I think there was something wrong with the train, like the tracks. So we had to get another train, so we had to get off somewhere we didn't know where we were. We also had a Gucci ass seat, which was amazing. But on the way, after we had to change trains, we had horrible seats. We didn't get to sit next to each other. There was screaming children everywhere. It was horrible. When we had to get other trains, I was panicking a lot because I'd had bad feelings about going to Manchester. It's kind of like my anxiety just kind of makes me have bad feelings about whatever I do, wherever I go. Sometimes I ignore them, nothing happens. Sometimes I ignore them and stuff happens, like how I had a bad feeling about Manchester and all of this happens and we're not even in Manchester yet. I'm pretty sure after we got off the train we only had to wait half an hour and then we were back on another train to Manchester. I think we were on the train for about 2 hours and then we had another hour left to get there. So it wasn't too bad, but just in the moment I was already kind of panicking, especially the fact my suitcase was broken. We only had 2 wheels and when I was walking to Jordan's, a stick got stuck under it and I didn't hear it because I had headphones in, and I kept pulling it and then I heard a p. So the wheel was kind of just like wobbly as hell, which was fun and a great thing to carry around Edinburgh. So after that, obviously when we got to Manchester, I think we were planning on doing something that day but everything was just going wrong, so we decided just to get to the Airbnb that we were going to, which also wasn't a smooth ride because the Uber didn't know where they were going, we didn't know where we were going, we'd never been here before, so that was fun. The Airbnb was nice, it was a little bit dirty but we cleaned up, it was fine. We also couldn't find our door, that's another thing. We couldn't find our door because I think he put 8.1 instead of just 8. Maybe 8.1 means 8. I don't know, maybe we're just stupid. But we were sitting there, well not sitting there, we were looking around this Airbnb for room 8.1. We could not find 8.1. So there was somebody in there that was coming out to like probably leave, their stay was probably up, and we asked them where 8.1 was and they said, oh, it's probably just number 8. Now we were both really tired about having to change trains, getting there. You know, we'd been travelling for about 5 hours, 6 hours by now. We were tired. So maybe it just didn't click in our brains. Another thing was that the keys in England are a lot different from the UK and I'm pretty sure they turn the other way. Either that or it was just the Airbnb, just the key turned the other way, or it went in the opposite way. You know what? It was a struggle getting there, but finally we were in the Airbnb and it was magnificent. It was very small, but we kind of expected that. We didn't really need any rooms, so it was fine. Day 2 was the day we went to Macclesfield. After we got to Manchester on the first day, we just went to sleep. I think we ordered some like takeaway from Uber Eats and that was it. We just went to bed. Day 2 was when we went to Macclesfield. We went to Macclesfield to visit a grave that a singer's buried, and my friend kind of just sat at the grave and I just walk around the graveyard kind of like paying respects to everyone, even though I didn't know them, but I was kind of just going around admiring everything. Nothing much really happened there apart from seeing some really weird like decapitated like statues. Don't know what happened there, but it was there. The only semi-interesting thing that happened there was that when we were walking back from the graveyard, there was a dead pigeon and I almost stood on it and I screamed. She screamed, we ran away. There was also a really cool shop in Macclesfield and it had like all kinds of weird things. Like they had kind of all weird and wonderful kind of things in there. They also had a lot of costumes that I had to hold myself back from buying because I wanted them all. I'm pretty sure they had like a Michael Myers outfit this close, like this close to buying it. You had to get dragged out of that shop or I would have spent all my money in there, but I'll put some pictures everywhere of the shop because it was beautiful. Oh, I want those. They're so pretty. At the end of day 2 we ended it off by getting dinner at Yo Sushi, which was absolutely amazing. If you haven't been to Yo Sushi and you like sushi and kind of like Japanese style food, I would go. And if you don't like sushi, go, because it's not just sushi. Like, I don't like sushi that much, but everything else there is. It's very expensive though. It's the only problem. The third day was MCM Manchester, which was kind of the main reason we planned to go to Manchester. The main reason, first of all, that we went to Manchester for the first time was kind of for MCM, but we also kind of wanted to go to Manchester. Sadly, I don't have much footage for the Comic-Con just because there was so much going on and there was so much to do that I just didn't have time. I also met one of my favourite actors from Gotham. It was amazing. Such a lovely guy. I love him. We also met one of the actors from Derry Girls, which after we met one of the actors, I hadn't seen Derry Girls, my friend had, and after we met him we binge watched the whole entire first series, and of course when we came back from Manchester the second series was on Netflix. What's up with that, Netflix? I also really didn't want to drag my camera around the con, and I know if I shoot things on my phone the quality is not very good, so we just kind of enjoyed the con, didn't have to worry about cameras. It was great. We also took our little Kermit around, and there was a massive Kermit and we got a picture with them, and there was also somebody cosplaying Kermit and we got a picture with Kermit with them and a little Kermit. It was magnificent. I also finally got a chance to meet Tom Scott at that con because he goes to almost every MCM, but his line is insanely long, so I never really want to sit through that line for so long. But we finally got to meet him at Manchester because by the time we got to see him his line was really short. But the poor wee lad, he was absolutely knackered. Like, you could see it in his eyes, he was beyond tired, but he was still like pushing through to meet everyone, and he's a great man. This was my cosplay for the first day of MCM, and this was my cosplay for the second day of MCM. I met David, like Bruce from Gotham, on the first day because I was cosplaying Jerome, but I only met him for the photo shoots, and if you're taking a photo shoot with MCM you get like 2 seconds to talk to them, and that's literally it. He said my cosplay was amazing, and after I burst into tears. So on Sunday was the day I actually met him, and I was Robin from Stranger Things, and I got like a little video of him for my friend because she couldn't make it, so I'll just...
What's up, Lauren? It's David Mizzou's, Bruce Wayne from Gotham. I'm here with your friend Morgan. She's awesome. She asked me to take a video. I'm really, really sorry that you couldn't make it. I really wanted to meet you. Hopefully I get to see you soon. Thank you so much for watching.
For y'all who are interested. There was a lot of like amazing cosplayers there, and it was just great to be like among them all, and I met so many amazing people. It was just, I'd do a con haul, but there's only one thing I really got. This was the only thing I got at MCM because he was expensive, and so were photos and meeting David. So Monday was a day we had off. We had nothing really to do, so we just took this time to kind of explore Manchester, go to all our favourite parts. We went to kind of like a Chinese supermarket kind of thing. We went to like all the shops up there. We got more notebooks, not like we need any more. It was also really hot when we were there, which was kind of good but also kind of shit. We also found this really cool store that kind of reminds me of like a UK version of Uncommon Objects. I'll kind of put a little montage of that store somewhere. And that's all we really done. We just kind of explored the stores and stuff in Manchester, and it was great. Yeah, this is the last day in Manchester. Sorry there's not really much here, but this is the day we plan to go to Salford, where I think Jordan was gonna go like take a picture at the pub the Smiths used to be at a lot. But we got on the wrong bus, or we got on the right bus, but we didn't get off until Liverpool. So, because there was a stop, and we were like, maybe that's the stop. We were like, nah, that's not the stop. So we were sitting on the bus, and then we got on a motorway, and the motorway lasted about half an hour, and I turned to my friend and I was like, didn't you say this ride was only 10 minutes? So we ended up in Liverpool, and to be fair, we just walked around Liverpool, and I'm kind of glad we went to Liverpool because there was a Morphe store there. I got pretty much all of the Jeffree Star products that were there, and a lot of Morphe makeup, which I'm wearing right now, which makes my skin look absolutely flawless. I love Morphe. Is just the best place if you want makeup. It's expensive, but it's totally worth it. While we were also in Liverpool, we kind of took time to go look at the Beatles museum and all the Beatles stuff that was there pretty much, so she didn't really miss out on much. She got to see all the Beatles stuff. It was fine. We also joined kind of like a Beatles group, and this guy was like kind of showing you around all the Beatles stuff, but he took too long explaining things, and Jordan was saying he was getting stuff wrong because she knows everything about the Beatles, so we kind of just ran away from the group when we were in the museum and never saw them again. That night after we'd been to Liverpool, we got home absolutely knackered, of course, and we were watching Shaun of the Dead because it's my all-time favourite movie in the world, and my friend had never seen it, so we were watching it. But the funny thing is, while we were watching the movie, I was kind of just like, there's a lot more fire alarms in this movie than I remember. Turns out the building across from us had a fire alarm going off. So, like, I wasn't facing the window, and the window was, like, the blinds were open slightly and the thing was flashing. She didn't say anything because she thought maybe it was just like the TV reflecting or something, but I saw it out the corner of my eye, and then we went to go investigate, and the building had like a fire alarm. There wasn't a fire, but I think someone downstairs had like cooked something because there was a lot of smoke in one of the things, but it wasn't a fire because no fire ambulances came or anything like that, so it was fine. But when you're watching a zombie movie and the building across from you is having like a party with the flashing lights, it's kind of like bit spooky if you ask me. But I'll put some footage of that so you know I'm not lying. We also accidentally blocked the toilet on the way back. I don't know how exactly we did that, but I think we were cleaning something up and she put everything in the toilet and we flushed it, and the toilet was blocked. We tried so hard to unclog it, but it didn't. I don't even think the guy checked because he gave us a good review, but it's like, we blocked your toilet, but okay. Also, a can of Coke exploded because I didn't know if you put Coke in the freezer it explodes, because it was so hot that we had to get ice poles, put them in the freezer and just put them on our head. It was just so warm, so I thought I'd put Coke in there and it exploded. I think that's what we were cleaning up, and then we put all the stuff in the toilet and then it clogged. Yeah. Another thing that happened was there must have been like kids that moved in, and they kept us up all night because they were just sitting, screaming, running up and down the stairs. And then there was a woman that was kind of like, our room was here, then there was rooms here and a room over here. So we were at kind of like the top of the hall. And there was a woman that was on this side that I don't think she knew how to put her keys in, and she must have been a smoker because she was in and out of that building like no one's business. And like, when she was putting the key in, it sounded like she was coming into our room, but we knew she was going into hers. But it was just like she was like shoving the key in there, wiggling it about. We could barely sleep half the night because there was children screaming, and then it was her doing her door stuff. So, but yeah, that's really all we did. We didn't, obviously we did a lot, but if I explained literally every single thing we did, a lot of it isn't that interesting, so I don't see there's any point. But yeah, that was our trip to Manchester. I'll put some of like little montages of everything we did. And yeah, that's all for today's video, and I guess like it if you enjoyed it, dislike it, up to you. Subscribe if you haven't already, turn on the bell notifications, although it doesn't work. But yeah, I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye! Don't be suspicious. 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 Don't be suspicious.